we're flying to Georgia and starting to get that out a little bit more. So that's the next leg tour, that I'm going to be on. But eventually, yes, I would love to go and meet people and talk about, the book and what they got from it. And, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they'd you'd have lines out the door everywhere you went.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sure.
So get the hand ready with the pen and start writing. Another question I have is about the cover of the book. How did you choose that one?
Lovely Carly Louise, she goes to a university near where I live, and she's been on my set. She's been one of the volunteers who's come and worked on my set. And, there's nothing easy about it. Sometimes they're very long days, and sometimes you're just running errands and or carrying, heavy objects. And she really, really invested her time, on my projects. And so when she was tweeting out that she needed models for her school project, I said, sure. And so I went up there one day. It wasn't really for the book cover. It was just to help her with her project. Okay. And but I saw what she did, and she's an amazing photographer, an amazing artist. And she sent me a couple of pictures that she was using, and I just asked her if I could use it for my book cover because, the book is pretty raw, and I wanted something that was raw. There is my tattoos, and she did a beautiful job with the shadows and the black and white, and so that's really where it came from. She gave me permission to use it.
Well, it's a stunning photo, and I have to say it does fit appropriately with the book because you are being naked, with what you put in your book, is with your honesty and put it all out there. So the book cover fits very well with it.
Oh, good.
Another question they had is, what do your tattoos mean, if anything?
The peace sign on my left shoulder is just that, and it says love above it. And on the bottom, there's in Japanese is the word believe, with a bird taking off. So it's really about possibility and believing, in peace, love, and everything that you can be and do. And that's kind of it. And then I have a little rose on my ankle, which I got a long time ago.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that people get tattoos that have meaning and just not to mark up their body, because they can be a work of art.
They have meaning for me, so that's all that really matters.
Well, Crystal, I personally don't have any tattoos, but my daughter, she has several, and that's what she tells me. She says, the ink is personal to me, and really, that's what I've always heard is that that's what tattoos are. They hold special significance, and and so it's always neat that I've always kidded my children and told them that I would get a tattoo, and they're always like, Mom, but I think it would be a neat thing to have, just because it's personal to you in a way that I think nothing else can be sometimes.
Right. You just want to get them in places where, when everything starts to go south, they don't start turning them.
That's right. That's great advice. See, there's advice from Crystal Chappell should I decide to do that. I'll remember that now. So,
I'm hoping that bird doesn't head south, but it probably will. like roadkill.
Well, oh gosh, and with that, we have got a lot of fan calls. Hopefully they won't talk about your tattoos, but we've got a lot of callers on hold. Would you mind if we start taking some of those calls before our time is up with you? Okay, all right. Our first call is going to be from Don. Don, say hello to Crystal.
Hello, Crystal. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Well, very nervous, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
You and Jessica Lucia were the reasons I became a soap opera fan.
Oh, wow. That's pretty awesome.
It was late March, early April of 2009, so, 5 months before Guiding Light ended, so I was a little late to the party. I was flipping on the dial, came across, actually it was the scene in the cemetery with Olivia and Natalia. And for some reason, I just stayed there and I watched. Had no idea what the show, no idea what was going on, knew nothing. And then you scream out the words, "I'm in love with you," and the second you said it, I was like, okay, this is something I really ought to pay attention to. And it just kind of snowballed from there. And then when I found out the history of Olivia and the history of Natalia and everything that led up to that moment, I'm like, this is very compelling. And then when I found out that Guiding Light was going to end after 7+ decades, just the sheer awe that such a long-running show would come to an end, I was riveted, and I stayed there till the very end.
Oh, cool.
The other question I wanted to ask you was, in February of 2008, Guiding Light, for what would turn out to be its last year and a half, switched its film style to where it did more on-location shooting in Peapack, New Jersey. Now, a lot of Guiding Light fans never really liked that format. I loved it, and I'll tell you why. Not only was it different from the other soaps that were on at the time, but it was also because it was more of a documentary feel. You used handheld cameras. You did more on-location shooting. I mean, heck, the first episode with that format, I thought it was, I thought it was an actual documentary about the characters of Guiding Light. I didn't know it was going to be the way it was from then on. So, and by the way, this is all after all I found. It's not on YouTube after the fact. So what I wanted to ask you was, what was it like for you to be a part of that film style, and what was it like to, shoot the show like that for the last year and a half?
Coming from the old school way of shooting, it was a little daunting at first, and because there weren't the pretty lights and there weren't the pretty, cameras, and but I learned a lot from it, and it sort of bonded us all together in a really unique way, the cast, because and the crew, because we had to make it work, and it just became like any other show. We're used to the stage with the 3 pedestal cameras pointing at us. It became more fluid. We could move around a little easier. It does have more of a documentary feel to it. And I think it was, the style of shooting was far before its time. Like that's how I shoot my shows with, and so it's something you had to get used to. And but I so learned to respect it, and I'm glad that you tuned in to watch the show and the stories. So thank you.
It was like I said, you and Jessica Lucia were so compelling, and it wasn't from the angle of two hot women getting together and having sex, because not only was there no actual sex, but there was only one kiss between the two of you, and that was before you guys actually got together, and that was only, so you could prove a point to Natalia. So there was no actual kiss. There was no physicality. It was just simply the emotion, the chemistry between the two of you that not only that not only spawned from Guiding Light, but went to Venice and went to the Grove. And I will say this much, though. The first 5 or so minutes of the first episode of Venice more than made up for the last 5 months of Guiding Light. So
good. So good. That was kind of the point.
And what a point it was. Anyways, I know there's a lot of other callers, so I'm going to go ahead and take my leave. But it's like I said, you and Jessica, you and Miss Lucia were the reasons why I became a soap opera fan, why I'm still a fan to this day. So to be able to speak to you and tell you that you were the reason I became a fan is a big thrill for me.
Thank you, Don.
You're welcome, ma'am, and you take care of yourself, and talk to y'all later.
Thank you, Don. Next up, we have David, if my screen will work here. There we go. David, you're on with Crystal.
Hi, Crystal. Wonderful to meet you.
Wonderful to meet you, too. Hi.
Hi. I wanted to let you know that when Olivia first came on Guiding Light, that was the beginning because she was such a breath of fresh air for me. I really enjoyed every single aspect of Olivia from beginning to end.
Oh, thank you. Even when she locked Gus in the boiler room with his ulcer. Those things always kind of made me go, what?
Yeah, I know. Makes you go back and think a little bit. But yeah, I did. I loved you.
Oh, thank you, David.
My question is, and I just want to say how much I'm liking The Grove, and I can't wait to see more.
Cool.
Knowing how much you've accomplished now, how would you have written Olivia?
Oh, that's a great question. She was a journey for me because, like I said before, I wasn't comfortable. I was used to playing the nice girl that people liked, so it was very weird to have, be the character in a scene who's persona non grata, or, having fans, not like not like what she's doing, and it was a journey for me. So I don't know that I would write her any differently. They pretty much gave me everything that I needed. A perfectly flawed individual who speaks her mind, and so it's a great question. I don't think I would change anything. I really like the journey. Is there something you would have liked to have seen?
I'm trying to think. I think in the beginning I felt bad because Richard never gave her the time of day.
Well, he was chasing after that hot Reva.
Yeah.
There's something magical about her.
I guess so,
I totally get it. I get it.
Did you have any other questions?
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I just want to say thank you very much for speaking with me tonight. It's been a real pleasure.
It was lovely talking to you, David. Thank you.
Thank
you,
David.
Pam and Dawn.
You're welcome. Now, we do have some international calls I'd like to get to. I have Simplicia, and she's from Holland, and I hope I said her name right. You're on with Crystal, Simplicia.
Simplicia, yes. Hi.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Oh, yeah.
Hi.
Good afternoon, but it's a good evening here. Crystal, hi. How are you today?
Great. How are you?
I'm fine. I just wanted to give you my compliments on everything that you are doing for the fans here in Europe.
Thank you.
And I just want to say that you have a beautiful heart, beautiful family that you have, and I don't know, I'm kind of shy now because I don't do this kind of things all the time.
Well, you're so lovely to take the time to call.
Sure, no problem.
Yes.
Excuse me?
Well, where in Holland do you live?
In Amsterdam.
Oh, in Amsterdam. Okay.
Yes.
I've never been.
Oh, I really hope, it's my dream for you all, for the whole team, the crew and everybody to come here in Europe one day to do an event.
It's definitely in our sight line. We have places that we want to go, and I tried to get to Amsterdam twice, and for some reason, whether it's work popping up or something like that, I've never been able to get there, but I definitely want to be there.
Well, we will be here. I work at the airport, so whenever you come, you flew in, I'm there to greet you.
I'm going to get in touch with you. Absolutely.
All right. Okay, I won't take too much time from you, so the other callers can also talk to you. Take care, and big hug to your family and the boys and everybody.
Thank you, sweet woman.
Hope to see more work of you.
Thank you.
Thank
Be
you.
well.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much for calling in.
Thank you, Pam.
You're welcome.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
so very much. Bye-bye.
Okay, and next up we have Gladys, and she's from Puerto Rico. Say hello, Gladys.
Hi, how are you guys?
Hi, Gladys.
Hello, Crystal.
How are you?
Hola, Bella, ¿cómo estás? How are you? Good.